What's going on, you guys? What's going on? Nick here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Freedom Friday. How are you doing? I hope all is well. As you can see, it is a bright day outside here in the Northern Virginia area. Just out enjoying the sun. Just want to take a minute here and bring something that's been on my heart for a little bit. But before I start things off today, start off as we always do on Freedom Fridays. Today is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And before I go any further, I want to say thank you for all of you guys for being patient with me, for sticking with me throughout this whole process, and continuing to support. So thank you guys so much as always. You guys are a big help. So thank you all for sharing. So share this out because it's gonna be a good one, even though it's gonna be a little short today because I'm out with the family. So I just wanted to just share a little bit with you guys today. And I'm trying a little bit of a new medium here, so I'm just testing out to see how well it does. And usually the show is about an hour or so, but we're gonna see how it does as far as the device, and then we can take it from there. So with that said, guys, what are you guys doing this weekend? And obviously Father's Day is coming up and all that. What do you guys have planned for Father's Day? And taking that father figure or your dad, showing him that love. And shout out to all the fathers out there. I figure I'd put that shout out in because Father's Day is coming up. I believe it's Sunday or Monday, one of those. But I want to give a special shout out to all the fathers out there. Keep doing a great job. Keep trusting in God, and keep moving. But the main part of the reason why I wanted to come on here is to share with you on a concept called trusting the process. And it is a very loaded topic, and I will revisit it in another video to talk a little further on it, because obviously there's a lot of facets to it. So, but when I say trusting the process, I mean that it's okay. The best way I can describe this is a quote from from a great mentor of mine. And he says that it's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's about being the right person. And how do you become the right person? The way that God designed us is that He designed us to have things like free will, things like desires, things like wants, dreams, and hopes, and among all the other facets that we have as human beings. But we have the capacity to become more than we originally started as, and a lot of that has to do with how we learn. We're a combination of people and experiences that we've had over the years from the time that we were born, and those seemingly random experiences, factoids, all that kind of stuff, it comes together to form a brand new entity every time something is added. There's no way of knowing how much an event, a word, a song, or whatever it is, whatever experience, there's no way to know how it infinitely affects your personality and how your personality will change. And obviously the more it is that the event is either traumatic or influential, the deeper the change will be. So one of the things that I want to emphasize is that, knowing that randomness, knowing that, you have so many things coming into play, it has to be that you train your mind, train yourself to become what you need to become. And how you start by doing that is trusting God in the process. And saying that is to say that you believe that overall He always has a plan, and everything that happens to you has a purpose for you, and not just for you, but for everyone around you. So it's not just enough to know that you're going through something, but you're going through something not with just you in mind, but with everyone that you could possibly affect in mind. So whether that's something good, some people associate a big event like winning the lottery or something, that something that's people commonly associate with affecting everybody around them. But what we don't realize half the time is that many different things can affect us. Many different things can affect the world around us. And it don't have to be something huge. It could be something small. Something happens that changes your mindset. Like for me, at 24 or 23, I think it was, I walked into a room, sat in a meeting, and was taught about the rules of money and the truth about the rules of money. And if you don't know, there are rules. There are rules to this game of money. There are rules to being financially successful. There are principles that are the governing principles on how you get to success financially. And learning those is crucial. And at 23, I didn't know those. I knew some of the basics, like the importance of saving money, the importance of stashing away a little bit at a time out of your paycheck, out of the money that you get, and things like that. From my father, from my grandmothers, from my mother, people in my life that meant the most to me. They taught me the importance and the vital concept of saving money. But what they didn't teach me is how to protect my income, how to properly establish an emergency fund, these fundamental concepts and foundations that need to be set. So at 23, I'm learning these lessons, and I'm learning the high cost of waiting, the power of compound interest, and all that kind of stuff. Not just the power of compound interest, not just how it affects a balance sheet, but how it can affect you positively and not just negatively. And when I got done, it was probably about an hour and a half meeting, and I got done with it. And most people were pleasantly surprised and things like that. I was mad because no one in my life that loved me taught me the information, and people that cared about me didn't teach the information to me. But more importantly than that, and that's not their fault, the more important thing about that is they couldn't teach me, because one of the concepts I know is that you can't teach someone something you yourself don't know. And all fairness to them, they didn't know, so they couldn't share the information. So learning that, going through that day, going through that meeting and things like that, it fundamentally changed me. And I didn't even realize it till about maybe 5 years later that, I didn't realize how much it had an effect on me, that there are rules out there that people are following. There are concepts that people are following that I didn't know about, that I know about now, and that's getting them to a better stead in life than I have available to me. So one of the main things that I started doing is learning And it wasn't to say, you learn financial concepts and you learn, all that stuff. You learn that in school, but, learning as a person, growing as a person, and that takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of seeing the good in the things that you go through, and that's the hardest part about trusting the process, is that you can't see the effects and the lessons that you will learn, how it will positively affect you especially when something bad is happening to you. You will not look inherently for the positive outlook in the lesson that you're being taught and what's going through, because problems to us as humans, it doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like something that can benefit us. You unfortunately, and God forbid, fall down and break your leg. You're not going to see the positive that God meant that event to be in your life. People say, where they've joined the army or joined the military or whatever, and they went to war and things like that, and they had these traumatic experiences, but going off to war, they end up meeting the love of their life, and they end up, that being one of the happiest moments in their life, and one of the people that make them the happiest in life, and so out of something that seemed unfortunate comes something even greater that's positive, and a lot of times we can feel like something that's happening to us that's bad or negatively affecting us, it has no purpose. Like, why, God, why does this have to happen now? Why does this have to happen to me? I can't catch a break. A lot of times we won't see those lessons. We won't see the character building moments that are in those experiences for us. So that's why it's so important to trust God in the process, because there's always a plan. And this is a line that I love from what is the show again? A-Team. A show that was made into a movie, a show from the 70s that was made into a movie, that basically the main character, Hannibal, he always says, no matter how random things may appear, there's always a plan at work. And I believe it's the same thing in life, that no matter how random life may appear to be, there is always a plan at work. And honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm definitely not where I used to be, definitely. And I'm not where I would like to be yet, but knowing where God has brought me from, I know that He had a plan that didn't always look like it was the best for me, and it didn't always feel good. I can tell you that. I'm sitting here in an SUV, my son in the back, my daughter and my wife, they're off here enjoying the sun, enjoying the park. There was times where I felt like that would never happen for me. There were times that I literally had people tell me, Nick, nobody will ever love you. Nobody will ever want to have kids with you. No one would ever want you to be that person in their life because you're just ugly. And that is something that's terribly traumatic. But I thank God that even in those moments, I did not believe that person's report. I believed what God had in store for me, and remembering that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm glad to say today that I'm 110% grateful to God that I am comfortable in my skin, and I am 100% elated that I do have a beautiful wife and beautiful kids, that I have responsibility over. I have, the fortunate obligation to, be there for them and to enjoy their lives and to enjoy walking this life with them. I wouldn't trade them for the world. I am so grateful to God that despite all those moments, and there's so many moments I can share with you guys that came into my life, it came my way, that even made me question, is it gonna happen? See, that's a lot of what happens with us as human beings, is that when something bad happens or when something doesn't happen right away, we start to question, God, is it going to happen? Did you really say what you said? Are you really going to come through? But you know what? He is going to come through. It's just up to you to be able to pick up on the signals and pick up on the messages that he's sending you. And how you do that is by drawing closer to him and knowing that every experience in your life, every experience, good or bad, I don't care what it is you're going through right now, every experience is meant for your good. Every experience that you go through is meant to build you as a person. See, there's another comment saying that what doesn't break you, make you. And inherently, and the whole concept is true, because of the fact that you don't, and I hate to use one quote for another, but I believe firmly that in life, especially if you have a relationship with God and you believe and you have an intimate connection with God that you foster and grow every day, that you never lose. In this life, once you put God first in your life, you will never lose. Notice I didn't say that life would never happen. Notice I didn't say that things will always be perfect. But I said that in this life, once you put God first in your life and he is Lord over your life, you will never lose. You only learn or you win. So no matter what happens in your life, there's always a lesson behind it. And a lot of times we go through things and we come out of things and God brings us out and we get into celebration mode, but we don't look out for the next attack. Because the one thing I'm sure about in this life is that we will always have opposition. The enemy will always be out to attack us. They will be always out to try to knock us off. And not just to knock us down, but to knock us out. This is a war, people. Make no mistake about it. It's a war. So every little victory you have, think about it this way. Think about it in peaks and valleys. You go through life, you hit a valley, a trial, a tribulation, something that brings you down, it makes you sad, it makes you mad, it makes you frustrated. And think about the peaks, which are your triumphs, your successes, things that make you happy, things that bring enjoyment, things like that. Your peaks and valleys. But imagine a ridge of peaks and valleys, and imagine an enemy that wants to see you gone, and at every chance wants to see you gone. So imagine that person looking at you traversing those peaks and valleys, and they can see you as you go down in the valley, and they see you as you're coming up to the top. From a marksman standpoint, someone who's looking to pick you off, where is the best time to get a clean shot? Is when you're high up. When you're high up and you're the most visible on your mountain, that's when it's peak chance for you to get picked off. So that's why you have to be always watchful, always vigilant, that even in your times of victory, even in your times of triumph, that the enemy is lurking, watching you to see where he can pick you off, even in your times of victory and triumph. So you always keep vigilant, but always know, even in your valleys, even in your trials, even in your tribulations, even in the things that come that might seem like they're going to break you and to keep you from your purpose that God has in your life, that he knows where you are, he knows where you need to be, and he has a plan to bring you there. He has a plan and a purpose for your life that is for your good. So always trust God in the process. Always believe in the process, because the process of you getting hurt, getting knocked down, getting banged up, and healing from those, you will always have an opportunity to become better. Remember, I said, as long as you put God first in your life, you never lose. You either win or you get better. Those are the only two options that you have. Either you win or you get better. So I want to leave you guys with that. Trust him in the process. Know that everything that happens to you has a purpose, has an inherent goal to bring you to betterment. And he has a plan to bring you to success, to bring you to abundance. But you just have to continue to draw close to him and to trust him, even when you can't see him. Because those are the hardest times to find the strength to trust him. But he exists outside of your situation. He exists outside of your circumstance. He exists outside of the length and breadth of your life. And if you just commit and continue to trust in him and trust in his process, then he will bring you out even more victorious than you could ever imagine. So I want to leave you guys with that. I hope you enjoyed this little nugget. I know it's less than usually what Freedom Fridays are usually about. It's usually about an hour, but I figure, it would still be a timely message. So I thank you guys for continuing to support everybody who stopped by today. Please leave a like. If you do enjoy my content, please make sure you go to my Facebook profile and you click following, and then you click see first, so you always catch my videos and my live content. Also, for those of you who are listening to this on the podcast for Freedom Fridays on Anchor, you can favorite the podcast on the Anchor app. The Anchor app is free, so you can go ahead and download it and be able to listen to Freedom Fridays. I will be uploading this one later today, so if you missed this live on Facebook and you want to check it out on the podcast, you're listening in your car, you listen while you're doing your daily routine or whatever it is, or you're working out or whatever, you can always tune in on Anchor, and as well it will be available on youtube.com. My handle on YouTube is Millionaire Insight for Life. The number 4 in the word life, all one word. You can always just look up Millionaire Insight and you will be able to see where to find my channel on YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and there's tons of content on there that you guys can check out. And also, before I leave, last thing, my content, if you enjoy my content and you want to see more and you want to support my content, you can go to patreon.com/Millionaire Insight, and you can make a donation of any amount, whether you want to do a one-time gift or you want to do a monthly gift, you want to pledge monthly. It greatly helps me to put forth content. It helps me with research. It helps me with developing things, getting new tools that will be able to better the content and things like that for you. So if you enjoy it, please consider supporting. Let the Holy Spirit lead you as to what you would like to do to be able to support the content with a monetary gift. And there are gifts that you get for each decision that you make, whether you make a one-time support gift or you do something monthly. So again, go to patreon.com/Millionaire Insight to support my content, and you can be a part of that. And check out the merch. It's at Millionaire Insight Apparel on Facebook. So check out the new spring merch that we have, because spring and summer is definitely crossing over here. So I got some good things for you. So make sure and check that out on Facebook.com. So again, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me a part of your Friday. I hope you have an awesome week. I hope all the dads out there have an awesome Father's Day. Listen, it's not easy. It's not always fun. It's not always good to use. It can be frustrating sometimes, but keep being the man of God that He wants you to be. And trust me when I tell you, you are a great father. Regardless of what things have been in the past, every day is a new day, and every day is a chance for you to turn things around. So take care, guys. Until next time, live life, love God. See you when I see you. Peace.